Okay, rolling.
Welcome to the pod.
Hello everyone.
Hi, it's a Sunday afternoon of Glastonbury Festival.
For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a yearly, almost yearly debacle that occurs in Guy's back garden, where 250,000 people turn up and try to have a good time.
It's actually the national drugs bender.
Which nobody talks about.
Exactly, and they pretend that drugs aren't allowed.
Oh, it's just the music. It's the music.
Yeah, exactly.
So great.
But basically, it's 250,000 people going and getting absolutely fucking
hammered. Yeah. There must be bushels
exception
of
me and Paul, obviously, who, for the purposes of this pod, kept very sober and straight, so we could report back to you and file some events of what's been going on.
Well, what we'd call a dispassionate and accurate report.
Yeah. War reporters.
Yes, exactly, like war reporters.
Yeah, but it's heavier.
And heavier and under more fire, actually, most of the time.
Yeah. How's it been for you? I saw you for the first day, then you went, we parted company. I like to be miserable.
Yes.
And you like to have fun, so we had to, at some point, our paths had to split.
Well, I saw you on the day of the first Interpol.
Yeah, there's like one band here, okay? It's like a clean-cut American bloke with two guitarists and a drummer flailing his sticks behind him, and he just gets round this festival really fast and just changes his name from Keane to Interpol to the Killers to he's playing on almost every stage, this guy. The bands are exactly the same.
Yeah, it's the same.
The music
personnel.
is exactly the same.
They've saved a fuck of a lot of money, I tell you.
And they just got this guy there running around in a Range Rover, changing his jacket.
And they're
going, now you're Keane, now you're Keane.
Keane, remember.
Keane, yeah.
Hello Glastonbury, we are Keane.
Right,
do not say we are Interpol again. That was a real fuck up. And it's like they've got two levels, and it's this. It goes.
And then the lights flash sometimes in time to the music, and then they like blast the audience with a bit of flood.
Some really white
flood, which is so ugly. From maybe it's nice for the singer, I don't know.
Horrific.
But
it's good for the
film. But the thing is, he's looking at the audience, Paul, because you know what he's scared of? Someone who was at the other gig, and he's thinking, "Fuck, they're going to suss me. They're going to rumble me." They realise that I'm the lead singer of all seven bands.
He goes as far as to put spots on his face, puts a little bit of eye makeup on so he looks like he's got dark shadows, combs his hair to the other side.
But otherwise, it's exactly the fucking same. Every gig we have been to, I have been to, Paul's been to some other ones, and it's just like they look exactly the same. Four blokes on a stage with flashing lighting.
Yeah, with spirally flashing lights.
That's it.
A mirror ball that goes.
That's it, does that occasionally.
Yeah, that's it. And a big name behind them.
That's it.
So remind you who they are.
Yes, for him to turn back and go, who am I? Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
Interpol.
I'm the commandeers,
Keane.
whatever they are. Yeah.
Stormzy, we might have.
No,
If we think he was authentic, we don't want to really.
No. He's cool.
Well, I think
cool, but I actually
he was the only black guy in the festival who wasn't on security, basically.
That's basically what I know that sounds tough, but it's almost
fucking true.
It is almost true. There are some black women I have to see walking around there normally with white boyfriends. Is that wrong to say that?
No, it's accurate. We're reporters.
We've just seen it.
We are reporting what we see.
There are very few black guys there, except for the one on stage who was...
And the security.
And the security, obviously, yeah. The high-vis. He should have come on.
He
should have come on in a high-vis thing. He should have come on with a high-vis thing with 268 written on his back.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have
loads of fucking.
That would have fucking said
things around his neck.
Yeah.
And gone. Can you all stand back from the stage at least 2 meters where you are now? Please respect yourselves. Respect each other. Excuse me, sir. I'm the guitarist. Just would you mind moving back? Just move back a bit.
It's Paul's so right. Actually, I know this festival well enough to go nowhere near any kind of checkpoint. Any checkpoint, any kind of wristband checking situation, because it's horrible. It's a horrible, dirty process. Paul, being more naive than me and more full of love and life than me, decided to go with his mates backstage and do all that. And did you have a run-in or two with him?
What I realised by wandering around and attempting to get through the various checkpoints, dein Papier, bitte. Your papers are not in Ordnung. Please step to the right. Go into the cabin. You'll be processed. Next, time papia. And then what I realised was, Glastonbury is it's a fucking giant prison camp. A voluntary prison camp where people go to pretend they are free.
Yeah, and when you buy your ticket, you give away all rights. Really, nearly all rights, actually.
You sign up.
You really do.
You take the iron sausage.
I have seen them so brutal with people who are standing in the wrong place or who haven't got the wrong pass, who have got the wrong pass. They're brutal. And it feels like they are brutal because there is a massive risk of something awful happening. But to me, that risk may have existed 10 years ago, but it's completely, totally fake now. It's paranoia because they're all incredibly well-off, middle-aged, white people, you know, younger than me, but not much younger than me.
Or wealthy kids.
Or wealthy kids.
All, you know, all very... I mean, so we went to see, when we saw the first Interpol, did you see what happened at the end of the gig? The gig ended... It ended, the last chord died out, everybody turned around as one body and left the stage area. Like it was like there was an invisible signal, like a Wi-Fi control signal.
Compliance, Paul.
Compliance, full compliance.
They are the generation of compliance.
We used to be screaming, throwing fucking beer and shit at the... We would not leave. Do you remember that?
Even when I saw Liam Gallagher and he did like 2 or 3 totally shite songs in a row, and I shouted, "Lame, fucking lame! Give us a proper tune from 1992." And the people around me gave me "Hey,
chill out,
mate, chill out, mate."
Hey, what the fuck?
I said, "But it's like a shit song. We all know it's a shit song."
So what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
Pretending you like it because you paid 250 quid.
Well, I felt so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
went to see the Chemical Brothers.
Oh yeah.
It was like.
But actually is the same man in that, and that's different. Aren't they on keyboards?
The brother's going to work it out. The brother's going to. It's like disco music but on acid. But basically, I was reminded of the raves in the late 80s and early 90s. And when you looked up in one of those raves among the kids who had dummies in their mouths and were making shapes with their hands. And they all had high-vis jackets on, actually, back in the day, or baby doll outfits, and actual dummies, sucking dummies, high on E. One of the things you would often see when you looked up was a large projector screen with a rough digital representation of a mannequin, a tailor's dummy, wandering through the brightly coloured intestines of a sheep. And it was something that I always used to look at and think, what the fuck is that? And it was the visuals. The visuals.
Right.
So I looked at the Chemicals last night and nothing had changed. The level of technical ability had gone up, but the content was exactly the same.
Yeah,
it's like being in a fucking giant video game.
It is a visual famine. This whole thing is a total visual famine. It really is. God.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah. And also, the problem's slightly exacerbated because due to my slightly, let's say, irregular social situation, there are 7 acres of the 10 acres or whatever it is of the 15 acres of activity which I actually can't go on. And they always get, it's great, you go to a festival and you meet up with loads of people. I'm like, I've got one aim in mind, which is not to meet a kind of list of about 12 people.
And you always bump into 3 of them.
14, and all I'm doing, I realise, is I'm just avoiding people. Everyone else is there to meet people, and I'm there solely to avoid people.
To avoid the radioactive zones that have happened because of small devices.
Yeah, so I end up in like the kind of Wrexham, or like the Croydon High Street, trying to make the best of it with a can of cider. But, you can get good moments there.
And what we were saying, because I was thinking it was a bit like Gulag Archipelago. I thought it is like a voluntary, very, very pleasant, but a prison camp is a prison camp, But I was saying, is it because this is what represents the now outdated socialist utopian idea? And it's sadly never going to work because the best you can hope for is state-sponsored crap art and people behaving themselves.
Yeah.
And then Guy said something interesting. He said, no, it's corporatization. That's what you said.
Yeah.
That's what we're really up against. It's the corporate systematic organisation of everything down to... Because this year they brought in these weird scanner things, and we think they were testing it on the 5G. This is a speculation. We think they were testing it on the 5G network. Because it's all about data transfer, But if they can do that with every single motherfucker in that place, it's only a matter of time before they know where everybody is at any point.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm being paranoid. I really don't. I think
even after just 2 days heavily on it.
It might have been the other Somebody put something in my drink and it may have affected my judgment. Who was that?
I picked up
I
someone.
must thank them. If you're out there, thank you very much. It's wonderful. I think it was called Happy Happy, Stage 3.
Yeah. They are. There's a bit where you have to cross the road. I don't know if you go across that. And there's like occasional car comes across it, and they make like a real. And if you and there's like literally a 300-yard gap between these cars.
Yeah, the cars are going 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, and if you step across that, they like move right on you. Stand back.
And they get megaphones out. Car, stand back.
Yeah.
It's fucking
And
ridiculous.
I felt utterly infantilised and really patronised, and I thought this is a really fucking ugly way of treating me. I do not like this.
So look, this is a problem because...
I'll be going next year, by the way, everyone.
I'm never setting foot in the fucking place again, for the record.
I love this, really?
No, I don't want to go
Empty
again.
threat, I feel.
No, it's fucking awful, guy. It's against the spirit of the thing it's supposed to be representing.
So except you didn't go to see Hawkwind, which I didn't either.
Which I'm gutted about.
Which I didn't either, because Hawkwind is one of the only bands that our man from Interpol wasn't in. Although, but no, he can't have been because the Killers were playing at the same time, and he's definitely in the Killers.
Yeah.
And he fronts the Killers as well.
Yeah.
But the Hawkwind, what I was in a rather sweet little
I like
bar.
the Hawkwind.
I was in a rather sweet little bar where the Hawkwind crowd were assembling before the gig.
Yeah, they were coming out of the woodwork.
They certainly fucking were. I saw some bell bottoms there. I saw a lot of people on Zimmer frames.
Truly ancient.
Lovely.
Crawling towards the wind. They were just wanting some of that thromming, whatever it is.
Yeah, not the spirit of 1968.
Oh, more like 1973, but you know. I'm gutted I missed them. And what else did I see? I saw a bit of hot chip.
Did you?
Yeah, it was more like...
Really? What are they?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you eat on site?
I had a sausage, it was all right.
Yeah.
Much to everybody else's horror.
Yeah.
But I did have... It was all right, you know, but that's the other thing, you know, it's hot weather. Bless them, they've had a good year.
You have to say, of the 250,000 people there only seemed to be two who had any beef with it, and that was me and Paul.
Exactly, we were just disgusted.
Everyone else was absolutely loving it.
They were lapping it.
I'm afraid your correspondents, but perhaps were not quite getting that didn't really have the fingers on the pulse.
Are we just too old, guys? Is that what it is?
There were older people than me there, but I thought this. I have been to the font. I have seen the real thing. And you lot are drinking this pale, beer.
Watered down. It's homeopathic.
Watered down culture, and I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you. That's a bit patronising myself.
Well, it sounds a bit like when you talk about your mum going, "Oh, Guy, I feel so sorry for you.
Yeah.
We had such wonderful friends back in the day. We mixed with the best people. How awful it must be for you to live this life."
I know, she's incredible.
And that's exactly what we're saying. It's just...
But can you hear, but by the way, listeners, can you hear there's a band playing at the moment? They've got him back up there, because if you listen, it's a bloke bellowing out front with two guitarists and a drummer behind him. My God, it's like how that model... Made basically by the Beatles, was it? The Hollies. Buddy Holly, rather.
Buddy Holly.
Who was it who first got up there with like 2 or 3...
Chuck Berry.
Yeah, and it's just like nobody in 60 years has gone... They've not even... I don't know.
You said to me at one point, you turned around to me and said, "It's a dead art form." And I felt this bleakness, and I could feel the wind of time, as Hawkins would say, blowing through us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we didn't see Stormzy, and apparently he was very good, if it indeed was Stormzy.
Yeah.
And not the
not our poor. He's worked fucking hard, that man.
God, yeah. If he pulled that
off.
off.
Bass guitarist with his little left foot plugged out in front of him, his straight leg.
Exactly.
Yeah. God.
I did see something very odd, actually. For the first time ever, I saw people eating caviar out of a tin with their fingers at Glastonbury, and I thought, God, it's got to be the end.
Was that in the hippie fields?
It's got to be the end. I'd rather not say, but let's just say this. I thought, Jesus, it was shocking and kind of amazing at the same time. But I thought, this is what's going to happen now. It's just going to get more and more like that. Guy was saying, you were saying that they ought to shut down all the stratification.
Well, because it is. We haven't seen a society as stratified as this since India under the Raj. It's like that. It's like you have the Brahmins and then the untouchables and then however many levels between them, and then the backstage people, and there's so many stratifications. And it's ridiculous. It's a massive weird apartheid rather, and they need to go. There's like first class, upper first class, club class, premium economy, steerage. There's so many different classes.
It's like the Titanic, isn't it?
They really need to say, we're going to stop this. It's basically, we're all in this together. It is so old-fashioned. It's so Victorian, the stratification.
It's human nature.
Do you think it is?
Yeah.
I think it's just
It's like my mate says. He said, you go in the VIP room and they say, this is actually not the VIP. This is just the VIP. This is where we put people when they think they're in the VIP area.
Right, because they paid $7,000 or whatever.
So you go through this other thing, and it's like, come round the back here. They check your wristbands if you've got the right ones on, or you argue or give them 200 quid to get in. And you go into this other VIP area, and they're like, oh yeah, we need to go to the VIP area, which is in there. And you go through 2 more, and in the end, you get into this little room, and there's a fat Russian bloke with a hooker. And that's it.
Yeah. It's just like the English class system. It's absolutely. It's you can never get. If you start entering into trying to climb it, it's a fucking hopeless enterprise. I don't know that. So I just have the one little band. It says I'm a punter. I'm good with that. Wander around, drink some cider. I don't know what I'm after.
Well, the thing is, what is this? I believe, actually, what's actually happening here, it's a kind of state-sanctioned mini-revolution. It's bread and circuses.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like the empire never ended. The people have to be entertained. They know they're going to do it. The free festival thing that went on during the 80s, where you had Deeply Vale and places like Stonehenge, and nothing was organised, people used to turn. And it was everywhere all the time through the summer, and they just didn't want that. And the Beanfield, when they shut all that down, what they did was they made Glastonbury into the megapolis. Mm-hmm. And they know where we all are, they know what we're all doing, and they can control it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I do believe that that's what it is. And if you buy into that, that's okay. I'm not knocking it. It's just fucking not for me.
You kind of are knocking it a bit.
I'd rather get hammered around the kitchen table.
Yeah, that's it. I find it really difficult to leave the house, because the house, you can probably hear the band in the background, and my house is very close to it, and I have a lot of difficulty getting out the door. And the thing is that each year I get a guest or 2 here, and they're really keen to get over there because they've never fucking been there and they don't know what it's like. Or they're really keen to see the guy in Interpol. All his different jackets,
Interpols.
and his little jackets and his little wigs that he pops on.
And he's
yeah. So they drag me out, and I have to foot slog it across there.
I did think, it might be quite nice one year to get a tank and just drive straight through both sets of things in a tank. And just drive and see how far you can get in a fucking tank. It's quite slow, so people have got time to get out of the way with a big honking horn on the front. And just see how far you can get in before they arrest you.
They would love that, because they're so looking for a fight.
Oh, they really are.
My God, they're looking for a fight.
Well, what you use that hatch where you come out underneath.
And they're so looking for like some really sketchy, gangy, kind of inner urban youth, real trouble, violent, extremely naughty boys. But there are none. They're all like, they've all just come from Exeter University. You know what I mean? They're all like totally unviolent, complete sweetheart. You could do the whole thing with like 8 guys. Well, as you say, everyone just does exactly what they're told there.
It's true.
I don't mind that, but it's just this horrible threat of these fucking nasty people telling you what to do all the time.
Maybe we've been on the wrong side of it, I think.
No, we've been on both sides, because I've done the punter side and you've done the VIP side. We've definitely covered the festival.
Down the years, we've definitely been everywhere you could go. But I do think, Guy, that the people who have the most success are the ones who put the puddling early on and get every fucking wristband going.
Oh, yeah?
So they've got wristbands literally from the wrist to the elbow.
But that is a failure in itself. When I see someone with like 12 wristbands on...
And cards hanging around their necks.
I just think, cunt.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Weakling.
Yeah. You're scared of something. I know what you're scared of. Yeah.
It's weak.
Yeah.
What, have you got no chat? I know, but you know, at the same time, it's like that we can go anywhere idea is what keeps the whole thing going. So how would we improve it, Guy? Sack that guy from Interpol.
Oh, for fuck's sake, what would you do with his life?
Put him behind the bar.
Yeah, that's
hopeless.
I put all the bands behind the bar and all the barmen on the stage.
And women.
Bartenders.
Well, it's so charming, actually, the bartenders. That was one of my favourite bits of the evening. Chatting to because all you had to do was make eye contact and say, hi, how's your evening going? And you were into a really nice exchange. Yeah. Because they've had 400 people go, oh, no, to them. And they just want a bit of fucking human contact. I like that part. I'd put Ray in charge of it.
Would you?
Yeah.
What about the people with the trolleys, with the child in the trolleys?
Kind of cute.
They've met. They've had the happy years when before they had kids, and they said, let's try it again with the kid.
Yeah, why not? It'd be great.
I saw a couple of parents really high on E. I imagine. With these two, like a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, Mum, Dad, and the parents are snogging and kind of feeling each other up, and these children stroking them, and it did make me laugh. That kids, when your parents are really high on drugs.
See, if I had one of those carts with someone pushing me around, I'd be fine. Put me in one of those carts with some fairy lights on it and push me around the fucking joint.
Paul, I often say the sedan chair is the way to deal with this, and I'm sure there's nothing in their rules against a sedan chair, and I guess need 3.
And the guys have got the passes. You don't need it.
No, I'd put my wrist out the window.
Just take the wrist out the curtain.
The wrist out the curtain.
And then go like that. Give them the finger.
I wonder if they'd let you take a sedan chair.
Drive on. Well, they'd have it out and they'd search. You'd probably cut all the cushions open.
Yeah. Horrible searching.
Horrible
searching going on. What for? Why are you searching me?
What for?
Yeah,
I've got what?
Because they're all employed on all, it's like...
It makes me want to take a vibrator in or something.
It's actually...
Would they stop you from taking a vibrator in?
I don't know what the rules are, but I know this.
A massive phallus.
Is that actually the purpose of this festival is actually to employ a huge amount of people on security. Whoever's in charge of the security and the certification of safety and health has got control of this festival.
I wonder who that could be.
It'd be some guy in Barbados.
Really?
Well, who are you thinking?
A bit closer to home than that guy.
What do you mean?
Well, it's still a family-run operation.
No. I don't think that. I don't think the Edises are trying to. I don't think that they want that. It's being forced on them.
Well, they don't have to
by
do
the
it.
Politicians.
They've got all the wristbands. They've got wristbands up the armpit.
Yeah, but I wonder if they know what it's like for everyone else.
Of course, they fucking don't.
They must have imaginations. People must.
In fact,
I was talking last night to Tanya, who I was with, and she said, "God." They must get a lot of complaints from customers and all that. I said, it must be a fucking nightmare.
A deluge.
All the time. But on the other hand, against that, you have to lay this, Paul. Imagine how the musicians must lick their fucking asses.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So you're like, as someone's coming towards them, they must think, is this a punter or is this a musician? Yeah. Whoa, it's a musician.
Flex your shields up.
It's a musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must be nice.
But I guess, what... It's like when you hear the stories of the king going among, dressing as a beggar and going among his people. And my advice, if any of the Evises are listening to this, is perhaps one time just to put on a little disguise and have a wander around as a normal punter and see what it's like.
No, the disguise is very simple. It's just the one
band.
One band.
The fucking
just the one band. That's your disguise. And just try and get somewhere.
Yeah.
Or
perhaps somewhere where your friends are.
Just try and cross the road.
Or where your friends are. Put your friends in there and say, actually, I'm legitimately, I can go in there. Honestly, it's like...
I was shouted at for trying to cross a road between two cars which were 300 metres apart. I was shouted at.
Through a megaphone?
Yeah, but no, it wasn't through a megaphone. Just this guy shouted at me and they sort of came to body check me. I said, look, the road is totally clear. He said, don't move, back. And I just thought that's so unpleasant. And then I thought, this is because it's your festival. It is you are the people who've got the real cultural power here. You guys with your numbers on the back.
It used to be the hippies.
Yeah. and they ground them down, tore them apart, and said, "Now now it's just."
That's what happens when you put hippies in charge. People come in.
Yeah.
They come in and go fucking mental. Can't have that.
Yeah, without paying.
Fucking can't have that.
Do you remember in Woodstock? I don't know if you ever. You're probably a bit young, but they made an album. I think it was a 3-disc album.
I'm very familiar with that album.
Oh, yeah, and there's one bit where they
Freedom!
go. Where the guy goes, "Hey everybody, we got a few more guys, people here, beautiful people who we were expecting, and it's like we're a little bit short, and it's just before Joe Cocker sings A Little Help from Your Friends." Because remember he goes, "Oh, when you go up to the woods tonight, I want you to remember everyone's your brother, everyone's your friend." And before that he goes, "So we decided to make it into a free festival." Do you remember that? And there's like a half cheer goes
Nobody
up.
pays.
A half cheer goes up because that's not from the lot who've paid.
Exactly.
Slightly aggrieved.
They're all like,
"Oh, for fuck's sake!"
what? So when you get what?
But they make it.
I like the bit where he goes, "Just an announcement. We've got to say to you that the brown acid that is circulating is not specifically too good." So there's 10,000 bad trips. What was the colour? Well, they haven't declared it a disaster area. How many people at Woodstock? 150,000.
By the time we got to Woodstock,
We were half a million strong. Everywhere there was song celebration.
500,000.
Well,
double the size. Can't have been double the size.
They're
of that.
fucking exaggerating.
They were exaggerating, weren't they?
Jesus wept.
They probably never went to Woodstock. It was actually
it's
Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell wrote that, yeah.
Was she at Woodstock?
Was she fuck?
Yeah. She
was
would
having
have got the numbers
clean
right.
light, quite like linen in a fancy French cologne. Maybe she was. Maybe I'm doing her a disservice.
Yeah.
Somebody must have fucking been there.
Yeah. So she said, "How many people were there? I just got writing this song." 500,000.
I liked it because people used to do that song. Ding, 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 whoa, whoa, ding, 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 ding. You know that all those people were singing and dancing and carrying on.
Yeah.
There's none of that now.
No.
It's like a forced march. It's a bit like
and the shows are like West End shows.
Yeah.
They're like a West End show. You go in there, they're 90 minutes. It's like a West End show. It's a little thing.
Yeah.
It's a show. Pay your money, get in, get out. They all look like shows, and I thought this guy's going to be. He's probably right now. He's getting ready to go on in Amsterdam.
He's rubbed down. Being fluffed. And also, I was really disappointed by the lack of cucumbers down trousers. Or any kind of like sexual posturing. No feet on monitors, no thrusting.
None, no pelvic thrust at all.
No pelvic thrust,
Absolutely.
no like, normally you'd have like a guy at the front with really tight pants on and a fake or real cock bulging out of his pants. I mean, now it's like you've got
so unsexual.
Miley Cyrus in her knickers if she's on, but you know, it's somehow not the same.
No.
I think maybe
They've seen too much sex this generation there with porn. See, they've had so much porn.
See, it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't
to them
mean anything
anymore.
to them, and it's not sexy.
It's not like Jim Morrison got his cock out on stage and it caused an absolute national outrage. Now no one gives a shit.
No, just be arrested, taken off by 7 security
I
guys.
showed someone my bum. I was wearing a kilt.
Oh yeah, God, it's a good story actually.
I was wearing a kilt.
Paul's been wearing kilts for the duration.
Camo, made of camo actually. Yeah. Camo kilts or khaki kilts, which are they're really good.
It was
festival
your khaki. It was your hockey mistress.
My hockey mistress one, yeah. St Trinian's hockey kilt in brown, like open all hours brown khaki. And I was walking up the hill on the way out. We were a little bit high, a bit drunk, and Guy and Tanya were behind me, and I just flicked the back of my skirt up, and I was wearing no knickers.
And he ran ahead, bent over, flicked up his skirt.
Not a bum hole, but
to moon us. I think the verb is moon.
But I didn't give you any kind of like
perfectly reasonable.
Perfectly reasonable.
It's a festival.
A little shot of my bum.
It's a fucking festival.
It was a laugh.
Yeah, I'm still reeling from it.
Instantly,
some guy,
this fucker comes up to me and goes, "You." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You fucking. What the fuck do you think you're doing?"
Yeah, I know.
I said, "Excuse me." He said, "You just fucking flashed my bird."
Right.
And she's standing next to him, like a bit embarrassed by him and looking at me as if she should be annoyed. And I went, "I beg your pardon." He goes, "I could have you arrested for that. That's exposure." Seriously.
Yeah, I know. No, Paul. It was like it was an important something inside me died.
The day the music died.
it really was. When a stupid little bit of
They
fun
didn't like my American Pie.
was considered a kind of an outrage against someone's boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, sex. It's like fuck
That's
off.
disgusting.
But actually, Paul handled it so well.
Do you think she wanted to see that?
Yeah, Paul handled it really well. Just said, I'm sorry.
I just raised my eyebrows.
Yeah,
He said, I've got no idea.
And you pointed at me and said, I was doing it for him. Actually.
It was for them too, they're my friends.
Yeah, and I said, yeah. And Paul was really cool, and the guy just went off in a low dudgeon.
Disgusting.
But, and that was that. You just felt that
was it, the death knell right there. If you can't even get your knackers out at a festival, what the fuck is the world coming to?
Yeah.
I fancy going in there, actually. I saw a woman with transparent trousers on yesterday, made out of cellophane. She's wearing cellophane trousers. No one was complaining about that.
No, I saw a woman without any top on at all at Interpol stroke Keane. When he was posing as Keane.
Interpol 2.
When he was posing, it was actually my fourth Interpol of the day. And she had no top on. And you could, when you looked at her, as a man, you have to
Was
say,
it a bloke or a woman?
It was a man. It was a woman. It was a woman, and you thought,
or a man with tits.
I can see the reasoning behind her not wearing a shirt.
Well, exactly, but I'm not allowed to show my ass. That's sexual discrimination.
It is, yeah. Let's sue his ass.
Where the fuck is it? If you're listening to this, bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring it on. We are ready. We are locked. The buck stops here. We've been patient. We've been loving. But it's over, guys.